Hello everyone and welcome to a new GunPla review. That's right, we're back. This time we're going to the Zeta Gundam timeline with the MSK-008 Dijeh, or as autocorrect kept making it on my notes, Dijon. Either way, this is the mobile suit best known for being piloted by Amuro when he was working with Karaba. As you can see here, it has a very Xeon stylized look, except for with the blue coloring, obviously. Some pretty good detailing here. You get these nice little vents in the legs. Wings are two-tone. And you can shift them a little bit here to see not a lot back here, but there's a little hook here for a weapon. And you have nice detailing on the arms. I got my open hand on right now. And of course your mono eye, which can also be split depending on how you want it designed, which is one of the unique things that we get with our stickers. Here we go. You can kind of see stickers we got here as options. I ended up painting all these little stripes and even painting the mono eye because it has a little nub, so it's easy enough to paint. And I think it looks a little bit nicer having the actual paintworks with the eye. I think some of the things on the legs and what have you. It just looks a little bit nicer. But I think the stickers, because of how everything is designed on this suit, would probably blend in well enough that no one would even really be able to tell the difference, which is rare for a lot of kits, as most of the time you find yourself going, whoa, those stickers are really blatant. And to see a kit that has a lot of blatant stickers, I would recommend my review of the Gundam Ground Type Urban Combat Custom. The build was relatively simple. It does have a couple of quirks that I should bring up. First off, move the wings out of here so hopefully you can kind of see. There's a little tubing here behind the head. These things sometimes didn't want to stick in properly or they'd pop out. And I remember having a few issues here with like the skirts around the waist. I guess where the skirt normally goes. And finally, this part up here, the upper part of the armor, has a tendency of popping off, which it probably will when we check this thing out for its flexibility. All right, it isn't just about how it looks or how easy it is to build. It also matters how flexible the unit is. Now, the big problem with a big guy like this is that he's going to have big guy problems, which means usually a lack of flexibility. So let's check it out. First off, the foot has no toe movement, has very, oof. Yeah, that's, the good news is this little front piece here moves. Kind of see it from the side. So it gives some movement for the foot, but that's kind of about it. There's a little bit of left, a little bit of right. It's not great. The knees are going to be a major problem because I can kind of turn like this, but the back armor is so big, we're not going to have a lot of knee move. Well, wow, I am surprised. Color me surprised. Did not expect that. So, it's a lot better than wow, just, I'm at a loss for words. The front armor can go up a little bit, not much. Side armor can go up a little bit, not much. Meaning the leg can't really kick far. And again, you have the same kind of tubes here on the legs, like on the neck. So just be careful of those. And to the side, barely anything. All those are restrictions due to the armor. Though it is nice to see that all the armor pieces do kind of move on their own, including two different pieces here for the front skirt, which is kind of nice. It's hard to tell here, but you can kind of see these two things move separately. There, you can kind of take a look there. Waist is okay-ish, but the backpack's so bulky, you got to be very careful. No, a little bit of forward back tilt, but not much. The arm, I remind you of these big chunky things on both arms. But you can get a nice little 360 easily enough. elbow coming together decently. It's not bad. Hand wiggles and wobbles because it's a ball joint hand. This shield has some upward movement, downward movement. This upper one has a little bit of movement too, but as I pointed out, it has a tendency of falling out. It's behaving right now for some reason. I appreciate that. And the weapons rack has a little bit of movement too, but not much. You can hear it kind of creaking there. A little bit of forward shoulder. Ooh, nice on the back shoulder though. So you can get some decent mobility here. I'm actually surprised. I was going in for a hole. This thing's barely going to move. Now the head cannot move left or right. It can kind of move a little bit forward, a little bit back. That's kind of it. It's really held back by those tubes and the fact you got some armor on both sides here. So not a lot of head wiggle. On the back, your wings can move pretty high up, down, a little bit of fluttering for left and right. So not too bad. Rear skirt has no movement, but it does have a hook to hold the beam naginata. And that is basically everything. It is surprisingly more flexible than you would think, based on the fact that it is kind of a bulky boy. It has that shoulder stuff and all that leg armor. And yet, I was able to get it to do quite a bit there. It's still holding its position. No pieces fell off. That's what you're looking for in a kit. And I am completely surprised that nothing has fallen off or caused me any trouble. All right, now let's look at the accessories. When it comes to accessories, we have 3 weapons, which is pretty nice. First is the beam naginata. Pretty cool. You can remove the blades and just have it be the handle. You can hook the handle on the back. Personally, I think the weapon's a little too cool not to be wielded by your unit. Anyhow, if you don't like melee, that's perfectly fine. No one's going to force you to do melee. But if you like melee, it's a cool option. The next, of course, is your standard rifle. Relatively simple. Doesn't have any, I think there's a little scope thing down there. But other than that, your basic, very simple gun. Don't know much else I can say about it. It has no movement. Looks fine. And last but not least is the clay bazooka. I do love the clay bazooka. Got it upside down. It's got the nice thing here, and there's a little attachment part. I can just pop it off right there. It's hard to see on camera, but there's a little thing here. You hook it to the back end here, and it helps it stay on the weapons rack. The big problem with the clay bazooka and the other one I have with the HGUUC, and I think I may even have one of my Rick Diaz. Never mind. I normally was about to say the handle sticks. This time the handle came out perfectly fine. Don't know why. When I was messing around with this earlier, I couldn't get the handle out. So I guess I loosened it or something. I don't know. Anyhow, you got the handle. It can slide in, it can slide out. So if you want to use it as a weapon, you want to put it on the weapons rack, those are completely your choices. Now, of course, you always have other options for your hands. First is the trigger finger right here. I have the standard holding hand on the right side. So nothing too special or spectacular there. It is what it is. And then you have your other holding hand for the left, which I have the open hand on right now on the kit. At the very least, it provides you with 2 hand options for each arm. And finally, we have our poly caps. It's pretty obvious that we used basically all of them, except for right up here, these little pieces, which are shoulder arm connector pieces. So if you need to replace those on a kit, or you are building your own design that requires these types of poly caps, here's another way to get them. Otherwise, there's essentially nothing in terms of spare parts. This is a very efficient kit in terms of how it uses all the plastic. Let's wrap it up. Overall, the Dijeh is a really impressive kit. The flexibility is significantly higher than I expected. The build itself has a few quirks, but nothing that an average builder couldn't get over really quick. Aesthetically, I think it looks pretty good. There are a few stickers that you're going to have to either put on or paint on, but not nearly as many as some other Zeta and double Zeta kits I can think of. The accessories are above average, providing you with 3 different weapon options, 2 different hand options for each side, and it doesn't waste a lot of plastic, so you don't have a lot of spare parts lying around, just a couple of extra polycaps, which in my opinion is always better than having a bunch of loose parts you'll never know what to do with. Finally, I think this kit is one of the cooler designs from Zeta. It looks good, it'll stand out on your shelf, and if you have it teamed up with some of the other Karaba units, it looks pretty good as a commander. There's a few designs out of Zeta that I really like because they took Xeon mobile suits and retrofitted them to look modern, and I really like them. I like the High Zac, despite the major issues that kit has, and I like the Dijeh, as well as the Rick Diaz, which is also a really great kit. Thus, if you're a Zeta fan, this should be on your priorities list. It's really good. I am completely surprised at the quality of the engineering. I love the fact that I get a few different weapon options, and even though I made comments about stability issues and stuff like that, nothing happened during the course of this recording, and I kept expecting some of the problems I had faced while building or shortly after building to occur. So I'm not saying this kit is perfect, but it is really, really close. And if you're a Zeta collector, you gotta have this kit. And if you're not a Zeta collector, this one might be able to turn the tide for you, because it really provides you with a great building experience and a very cool looking result. Of note, there are some variants of the Dijeh that have kits. As far as I know, what I said about this version should work for those versions as well, as they should be based on the same mold. Thank you for watching. If you have this Dijeh or any of the other Dijeh variants, let me know in the comments, and let me know what your building experience was like. I hope this video has helped your GunPla purchasing decision, and until next time, I'll see you at the tavern.